So I became interested in environmental law because I had a background in biology.
I was always engaged in the environment one way or another.
But the piece that was always missing was the time to reflect on the law.
And I thought it might be interesting just having hands-on experience.
So when Wendy Jacobs started the clinic, she came from being a partner at a law firm. So she brought with her this concept that the questions that she was used to addressing were the cutting edge questions. People didn't come to her with questions that had an easy answer.
It wasn't a clinic that sort of did one kind of thing over and over again, and it wasn't a clinic that focused on litigation.
I choose projects that will give them a good experience and in turn in which they can achieve a meaningful outcome.
So the clinic recently had a project where we worked on energy justice and virtual power plant issues in the context of Massachusetts grid modernization proceedings.
One, energy justice issues, which was my area of the project and what I can talk more about, and two, the virtual power plants, which is what Jen did.
Virtual power plant is a legal entity that aggregates multiple smaller scale distributed energy resources like solar panels and operate them as a single entity.
They then had to do a lot of research on whether the Department of Public Utilities in Massachusetts has the authority to make decisions about these issues.
We were urging the Department of Public Utilities to consider the impact that these energy systems will have on low-income people in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
So they worked on the legal arguments. They then took their research and turned it into comments to the DPU. We wanted our comments to not only raise the issues, but to propose solutions that were legally feasible.
I started researching more into the specific proposals and what type of energy systems are the best systems for low-income communities. It was cool to have this unique experience of testifying before the Department of Public Utilities.
This was my first time testifying in a public hearing, so I think I kind of got nervous initially, but I think it went all right.
We actually were really lucky to have the community here at the clinic. One thing that was actually really great was that we have, I think, 2 rounds of case rounds through the clinic, and the case rounds are when you present to the other students and you give them some issues that you're kind of grappling with and you get feedback from them.
And what the result is, at the end of any given semester, you've been exposed to, no fewer than 5 different projects, depending on the circumstances, maybe as many as 8 or more.
One of the ways we help students ensure that they're providing the best service to the clients is to participate with them in their client interactions. So when we have phone calls with the clients, we let the students take the lead, but the supervisors are there as backup.
We're trying to convey general lessons about how to be good lawyers, but then in addition, we're trying to help them, carry out the specific task.
I make sure that every student has a meaningful writing experience, a meaningful interaction with third parties or the outside world, and that they have multiple opportunities to speak about their projects.
I chat with Sean regularly. If I tell him that I'm struggling with something or I don't understand something, I'll tell him and ask for help.
The best thing I took away from this clinic was in some ways taking on a challenge that I didn't think I could conquer. Getting to know a new area of the law, an area that will be very relevant and very important, but that a lot of people just don't have a great handle on, was really helpful.
And I honestly feel like my interviewing skills have improved. Even though I'm not an environmental lawyer yet, I can sit down in a room with someone who's maybe been an environmental lawyer for decades and talk to them as if I'm in the field.
I've been able to develop a rich understanding of one sector of energy law that I otherwise wouldn't have learned. Right now I'm sort of in that phase where I'm trying to look at just what are all the different ways you can solve the problem, sort of looking at the same thing from different angles, and the clinic provides an indispensable angle.
Elena Kagan famously said that the law school is like a city, and I guess my little neighborhood within the city has been the environmental law program here.